Hello, second graders. Today, your learning target is, I can compare and contrast two texts and identify their main points. Now you read it with me. I can compare and contrast two texts and identify their main points. Today you will reread both texts, How Bats Help Out and Bats Roost in Danger. And then you will compare and contrast their main points and record your ideas in your journal. You will need both texts, How Bats Help Out and Bats Roost in Danger, and Helping Pollinators Journal, page 5, and of course, a pencil. First, let's reread the text, How Bats Help Out. Have you ever seen a bat before? Bats are the only mammals that can fly. They are nocturnal animals. That means they are awake at night. They do their hunting and feeding after the sun has gone down. Different kinds of bats eat different things. Some of them eat mostly insects. Others eat mostly fruit. And some eat pollen, nectar, and other parts of flowering plants. All of these kinds of bats are very important. Why? Bats that eat insects help keep the number of bugs under control. Some of them eat mosquitoes, the nasty pests that feast on blood and spread disease. Because they eat so many bugs, they are great for farming. They eat all the bugs that would otherwise eat farmers' crops. Bats that eat fruit can help spread seeds. Inside a fruit are the seeds of the tree or plant that grew the fruit. When a bat eats the fruit, it does not digest the seed. Instead, the seed leaves the bat as a part of its waste. This can happen far away from the tree or plant where the bat first found the fruit. There, a new tree or plant can grow. Bats that eat different parts of flowering plants are helpful pollinators. As they go from flower to flower, they move the plant's pollen to different flowers. This makes it possible for the plants to grow new seeds. More than 500 different kinds of plants need bats to pollinate their flowers. They include some kinds of cocoa, bananas, and mangoes. So if you see a bat, remember how much they help out. Now let's reread the text, Bats Roost in Danger. Are bats living around your home? Once, bats lived only in natural areas. In many places, there are buildings where forests once stood. This means that today bats often build roosts in buildings. We must be careful, or we may put these bats in danger. Remodeling or removing buildings can cause problems for bats. A bat's nest is called a roost. Bats build roosts in different places at different times of the year. Bats can build roosts in trees and caves. Some bats build roosts inside houses and barns. A bat's roost can be destroyed when a building is changed or removed. Then, the bat must find a new place to live. Bats are sensitive to noise. This is another reason that changing buildings can be a problem. Bats need a quiet place to have babies and hibernate. If there is too much noise, they might leave their nest. It can hurt a whole group of bats. Bats need our help. Check for bats before you add on to or remove a building. Give them another place to live by putting up a bat box. You can also grow plants that bats like in your garden. You can help bats by saving their roosts. Now that you've read both texts, let's think about some things. The word compare means to find similarities between two things. The word contrast means to find differences between two things. Think about this. What are some similarities of the texts? What are some differences? Pause the video now and compare and contrast. Remember, you can go back and look at the text. Now that you've thought about it, it's time to talk about it. Talk about the same two questions with a family member or friend. What are some similarities of the text and what are some differences? Pause the video now and talk about it. Now it's time to write about it. Using your journal and all the things you discussed, write the text next to their main topics. Then, write a fact that you found interesting from each text. When you're finished, share this with a teacher, a family member, or friend. Thank you, second graders.